Welcome and salute Canadian LEGO fans, or should I say, welcome and buongiorno Canadian LEGO fans. This is a brand new review for you guys, and as you can see, we have a big, beautiful beast of a Technic set. It is the Ferrari Daytona SP3 supercar. This is a gorgeous giant set, and it was sent to us by LEGO to do a review, so thank you very much to the LEGO group for sending this on over. I am super excited to get this guy going. This is my first Technic vehicle, especially one of the larger, more complicated ones, to be sure. Tom has already reviewed the Lamborghini on the website, so please check the link in that below to get a little primer on what to possibly expect out of one of these amazing new concept cars. But for what we're doing today, it is the Ferrari. So, as an Italian, kind of, gravitate towards these guys, gotta say. It is a beautiful model, which we've already done a review on the website, and I am super thrilled to get to review it for you guys. So I will be doing a little bit different today. I'm going to be doing not a speed build, but we will be doing a kind of as-you-go building video review, and we will be giving you some usual stats and information on this set. But we're also going to do a bit of an unboxing, so let's see what's inside this absolutely gorgeous and different looking box. This is one of the most unique packaging I have seen in a LEGO set. It is heavy and it is a really wild different shape, so I'm excited to do this. But before we get to that, the usual set stats. This is the, again, Technic Ferrari Daytona SP3. It is set number 42143 with 3,778 pieces, and it released on June 1st at a retail cost of $499.99 Canadian. As of August 1st, with the price hikes, this guy has gone up a fair chunk, and it is now $559.99 Canadian. So that brings the parts cost per brick up from what was 13 cents to 15 cents. So not a huge markup if you really look at that. It's still kind of average for all the sets we've reviewed, but it's certainly gone up there. So if you missed out on that first couple of months review or release, then, well, here it is. Hopefully some VIP points or a sale down the road, who knows? But other than that, this guy is still on the website, still available, and if you are interested, I would probably snag it before there's yet another increase. Fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. But what we're going to do now is open the box, get a look at the inside contents, and we're going to do a little bit of a checkup as I am building this guy out. I don't think it's going to take me a quick amount of time. This will certainly be a longer build, so please stay tuned to the end of the video and we will do a full, proper review of the finished model and talk a little bit more about the set. So, let's see what is inside the box. Alright friends, so I have moved the camera in a little bit so we can get a look at this very beautiful packaging. This is definitely one of the most unique and beautiful packaging of a set that I have seen in a very long time. Certainly with a collab of a very expensive brand in and of itself, you would expect nothing less than some really lovely attention to detail with this, and it absolutely does. So if we take a look at the top, here is the little Ferrari logo. Again, it's a skinnier rectangle of a box, but lifting it up, we are treated to another beautiful view of the car itself, at least the finished LEGO model. And if we turn the box around, that is the actual car itself. A sleek piece of engineering, if there ever was one, to be sure. If we tip this down, the inside of the box has 3 separately packaged boxes, which contain all the steps and the pieces, as you would expect in a set this large. So, very reminiscent of the UCS lines, especially in something like Star Wars, where you will get that extra loving protective boxes on the inside to make sure all those contents are safe and secure. So what we got here was what looks to be the grille rear of the automobile itself. There's the Ferrari logo as well as the little exhaust vents, if I'm not mistaken, at the top there. Pardon me if I get any of this wrong. Cars are not my thing, but this car certainly probably will be. So if we have a quick reveal here, looks like we do have, again, some very lovely packaging. This very subtle shinier surface there that kind of shows a tire tread, which is very awesome. So again, that would be box number 3. And then box number 2. So far, so awesome. And then box number 1, which, dang if that ain't heavy. Wow. So box number 1 contains the instruction manual, which has made this a very significantly heavy piece of packaging here. So we're going to open this guy up just to give you an idea of how much love and care has gone into this type of packaging. So take a look at that. That is the instruction books. There are 2 absolutely massive instruction manuals. I just finished the Disney Castle, which had a ginormous thick book in order to use, and this is 2 of those at least. If we open this guy up, obviously this is split into 2 different stages, so 400 pages in the one, and probably similar, yep, exact same count in the other one. So this is going to be a long one, guys, but I am super excited to do this. That is some beautiful, fancy, posh-looking packaging, to be sure. And then got our first set of bags to start your build. So we are going to do just that. So it's time to get this thing going, and I'm going to just pause in my building process to show you a few steps along the way, and then we will do more of a finished review at the very end of the completed car. So I hope you enjoy this, and stay tuned to the end. See you soon, guys. All right, everybody, so here is a quick recap of box number 1 from the Ferrari Daytona SP3. So as you can see here, we've got the instruction book, which I will just do a very quick little thumb through. So as with any Technic set, lots and lots of steps. As this is my first real big Technic set, I'm really discovering a lot of the usual methods of building these sets, the techniques, which I gotta say are very time consuming, but very thorough. So you can't get too many steps per page or per section. So you're basically got quite a long build ahead of you, especially for something this size. But as you can see here, just in building this first section, it's quite a lot going on. It's pretty amazing, it's pretty time consuming, and yeah, you really gotta be careful because I had a gear and a couple of larger pieces left over. So after 3.5 hours of building, I realized I had made a boo-boo. So I had to go back in and figure out what I'd done. And disassembling a Technic frame is not a fun experience. So just heads up for all you future builders, do a very thorough job on every step. As you can see here, the instructions basically label out each box and tell you what you're going to be building. So in terms of what we built for box 1, we've got basically the engine and the suspension system as it is labeled. So flipping ahead a little bit, give you a little bit idea, but as you can see, again, super thick instruction book, and this is basically just half of book 1. So just to give you a quick little recap of what's been built, this is the finished Technic frame so far. So, I mean, for 5 hours of work, really doesn't look like a lot, but considering how many pieces are in here, it's pretty intense. Just pins upon pins upon pins. And like any Technic's construction, you've got quite a lot of movable parts, which again, you got to really be careful, get all those gears, axles, pins, etc. in properly, or she won't move. So this will be the front wheels. That'll be eventually where the steering wheel gets attached. And really cool, the V12 engine system with that really cool piston design. Really neat feature that they've put into these larger supercars. Really like that level of detail. And here's the rear engines as well. So I mean, overall, not much to see yet, of course. The frame of the actual car will actually give it the proper shape and let you know what you're actually building. But if I were to show someone this right now, it'd be like, well, it's a car, but what car? Any car. But overall, been a really cool experience. Looks like we've got several more steps to go, so I will be back with you guys once we are into box number 2, and I will be right back. Alrighty, everybody, and here is the completed portion of box number 2. So, with box number 2, you can see we've actually started to create the final shape with the exterior red frame of the car. So it's definitely starting to look more like a Ferrari, not just a random assembly of Technic pieces. So it's looking really great. Got to say, this has been an amazing experience. It is a very long build, however. I'm about 11 or 12 hours in at this point, and still got a little bit left to do. But we finished book one, and we've done half of book number two in terms of the instruction manuals. So I think we're in the home stretch. So just a little bit left to do. We have the third and final box, which will have the wheels as well as the remaining part of the frame of the outside of the car. So as you can see, what have we done here since we last checked in? We have created this canopy in the front, which is to represent the front windscreen. We do have a finished front in terms of putting on a cool little grill section here with some really cool piping that's used, some system pieces that are actually used as well in conjunction with all the Technic pieces. Nice little features like this, which include printed parts with the Ferrari logo or the Ferrari name on them. Of course, you would not get stickers in a set like this. If there was, I think there'd be a riot on our hands. But in terms of the kind of full presentation, it is looking fantastic. Here is the suspension system for the front wheels. And here is what will eventually be the front, or the seats, I should say. And then here is the completed back, which was the majority of box two. So we've got this really cool design for the back in terms of this open screen area, which shows the interior engine. And this entire, just the back trunk area, I guess you could call it, which does open up to reveal the inside. There's the engine just under there. So there is a lot of detail hidden under the hoods of this car. It is really, really awesome. Not sure if there's much more to do back here in terms of the inside, but definitely we'll be getting the rear lights and the rear body of the car for sure. So we've got just a little bit left here, and I'm pretty excited to get this finished. So when we return, we will have a completed car, and we will talk at length about the build experience and what I thought was awesome. So far it's been great, but definitely plenty of stuff to go over. So without further ado, here is the completed model. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to the completed build of the Ferrari Daytona SP3. As you can see, we are starting with a UCS-style info plaque. So this gives you a little bit of the technical specs of the car. Completely goes over my head. I am not that familiar or up to date with cars, so I mean, I'm sure this is all amazing stuff. So kudos, and neat that it's included. So the plaque itself is a pretty small little simple build. It is a printed tile, of course, and it just has this small piece on the back just to place it at an angle. So to me, it does feel like a bit more of an add-on. It is a cool little piece that you can put beside it as you put it on display. So of course, it's always a lovely addition. And with a car like this or a build like this, you're really not going to get a attached display stand a la something like Star Wars. But it is a great little feature and a neat little bit of info. And it's a nice little surprise to me, anyway. So let's move on and just check out the finished car. So it is big and it is beautiful. It is red. It is a gorgeous completed model, I have to say. For my first ever Technic set and large-scale Technic set, this was a huge treat to build. Once you really start to put on the exterior frame of the car, it is really cool. It's just recognizable. It's fiery. It's got awesome lines, it's got great curves, and it's just a beautiful creation and design. Really, really impressed with it, guys. If we just start at the front here, here is the hood. You've got the Ferrari logo, of course, which does pop around the entire car every now and then. You can certainly lift the hood, check out underneath. And there's a little gap in there, which is basically your trunk storage space, if I'm not mistaken. The front has these amazing stacked tile pieces, which are underneath the headlights. So that's repeated motif on the back as well. And I have to say that was kind of one of my favorite parts to build because it is a really cool angle. It's got awesome lines. It does create a lot of speed and awesome texture to the car. So it's a really cool feature. There's the front underneath. And as you can see, like any Technic set, the exterior is built with these really lovely molded pieces. So for a car that is very, very curvy, not really too many straight lines in the real life car, they did an awesome job of recreating those really like compound, complex curves in something like with a Lego brick, or in this case, a Lego piece. Moving on to the front here, that is the windscreen, which is done with flexible rubber tubes. So a great way to show the actual window
without obviously using trans pieces or any type of screen element. And moving around to the side, you can just see inside the driver's side. There's the side door. The rear of the car, which is a really awesome spot where, again, all those curves come together. The way everything attaches is just nuts. Technic design and assembly is so wild to me. It's always impressed me how the design team can come up with something this complex, considering all the ways that all the pins have to go together, all the frames, all those pieces, which are so different compared to a standard Lego system brick. So hats off to the team, man. They are doing amazing stuff. Certainly way over my experience level. And there's the back, as I mentioned from before. Again, the kind of grill lines for the rear of the car, the rear taillights, again, that Ferrari logo and the name. This was one of my favorite parts to build. It really kind of put together some awesome shapes and brought the whole thing together. And there is the rear hood, which has that clear section there where you can actually see the inside of the engine. And there's the roof canopy, and we are back to the front. So, taking a little closer look inside, this section here comes off, and that gives you access to the inside. So, two really awesome seats are created in this lovely blue color, little pop of contrast, which is very cool. And you can just make out some of the details inside. I'm not sure how much I can actually get in there. But you can see that there is a gear shift there. There is the steering wheel, which if you do turn, does turn the front wheels. It doesn't really work on the table so much, but with like any kind of standard Lego car design, you can manipulate the front wheels using the steering wheel. And there's the side door. And there is a cool little printed tile piece, which actually shows the heads-up display on the car, your accelerator, etc. And I think there's a couple of pedals down on the bottom there too, which is pretty cool. This is a printed tile piece for the gas cap. And then, if we put this guy back on, let's go to the rear of the car, where the entire back hood will open up. It stays open pretty well too. And that will give you access to the engine. So the engine's a really cool design. Never built one of these Technic engines. The fact that they actually have the working V12 pistons that go up and down as the car moves forward, thanks to all the gears and rotors on the inside. Really cool feature. Really enjoyed building that quite a lot. And then also a cool feature is that little yellow piece right there. If you push that guy in, oh, the hood fell down, pardon. That lifts the gull door. Or sorry, not the gull wing door, the different car, my bad. That is a swan wing door. So we'll open the other side. And there is the open car. So really lovely feature. Those doors are very iconic and very cool. So it's neat that they have a mechanism to open like that. But you can certainly open the car or the door just by hand, very easily open it and shut. And that's pretty it. So here are a few more Ferrari logos, of course, and then the very accurate wheel well and hubcap with the Ferrari logo as well. So, final thoughts. This is a fantastic model. Honestly, building this was a huge treat. It was a lengthy treat. It was a 16-hour plus build, the longest I've done for a recorded build on the website so far, but it was quite an experience. It is definitely something you need to do carefully and slowly at a good pace. Rushing through this will result in errors. I speak from experience. I definitely had a piece left over around stages 1 and 2, and that took me quite a while to figure out to disassemble certain parts, because once those Technic frames are built, they are not easy to disassemble to correct any mistakes. So be careful and take your time on this one. In terms of the finished model, it's sturdy, but certainly feels fragile in certain places. The finished assembly is basically a very heavy rear portion, which is connected through the base of the car and into the front other large, hefty portion. So there really isn't much stability through the top. So when I pick the car up, it really does feel like the back wiggles and jiggles a little bit. But this is not a play item, this is a display item, so this is not a car you will go vroom vroom with your kids with, or with any young feisty hands. This is not something you don't want to damage, because repairing this will not be easy. Much like the real car, I'm sure it would be a headache of epic proportions. So, otherwise, this is a amazing build. I absolutely loved making this. So once again, thank you to the LEGO Group for sending this over for us to review. It was a fantastic experience, and I am definitely piqued by any future ones to date. Again, if you missed out on the cost of this one before it went up, or I should say the release before the price went up, then, hopefully save some pennies, wait for some double VIP points, save up those VIP points, because it will definitely help in that price tag, which, again, to repeat, $560 Canadian before tax. So it is not a cheap one by any means. But given the cost and the results, I can definitely see where all that extra cash went into, because amazing technical achievement in this one. Amazing design, and kudos again to the design team. And that's the finished model, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review, and it was a little bit different compared to other ones, but I hope it gave you a little snippet of what to expect, and hopefully you can build it yourself and find out all those fun surprises and experience it as positively as I did. So, thank you again. Please comment. Please leave us some notes on what you think the next review should be, how we're doing, what we should do next, and just general feedback is always appreciated. So thank you for watching the video. Please read the written review on the website and drop some more comments as well. Always love to hear feedback. So thanks for following along, and I hope everyone has a fantastic day. And as always, keep on bricking. Thanks so much. Cheers.